Hi there, survivors! A new week brings a new episode of The Garage. Today, you'll learn what melee nomads have organized to celebrate Victory Day, whether you can actually fight on a three-legged ride, how the artists of the waste see your partners, what has become of medics after Crossout, and much more. Alrighty, let's go! Survivors, attention. Resistance Melee is back on the eve of May 9th. The summer is near, the air heats up, the tempers are running high. Nomads are again making tank combats. Ulysses reports that fights will take place in nearly all the locations in the valley. All of this is to celebrate Victory Day. What is the victory and over who exactly? Nomads never mention. Let's just consider this is a victory of all good over all evil. The organizers have built several dozen of armed rides based on a single tank, undamaged after a 2-month-old event. No one wanted to share the secrets, but the roadblock raid quickly solved the issue. Now, nomads are waiting for everyone interested to overcome the victory frontier. There are 2 teams of 6 players max in the melee. Survivors fight on the same rides. In order to win, you have to destroy the enemy or capture the checkpoint marked with a colored smoke. There are no reputation points or resources in the end, but there are special prizes, stickers. White Star is given for 3 wins. Last in Memorial for 5. Win at all costs for 8. They shall not pass for 15. Victor's Order for 20. The event takes place from the 7th to the 14th of May. Today, in Test Drive, we've slightly changed our approach to choosing the crafts. Here, you see not the most popular, but rather the most whimsical models. One of them has really surprised us. Home Sweet Home. They say, my home is my castle. Be it coy, but still. Everyone has to have their own calm haven. This craft is literally the embodiment of this wisdom. The house is simple, but there's a ride inside. It's what really holds the walls of the building. This way, the author metaphorically chose that the fights help them support his living. Or maybe not. When the time comes to fight, the walls and the ceiling come off at one shot, and the fast craft bursts forth to the battlefield. An unsuspected behavior for a homebody. 5 cups of strong tea out of 5. Falcon done right. Before the Crossout, people had a hobby of collecting vintage action figures, be it tanks, ships, planes, or spaceships. After the Doomsday, the things stayed, and the action figures have become bigger. Here's one of the meticulously recreated spaceships. Looks familiar, and it can even prove itself on the battlefield. 5 lightsabers out of 5. Teammate. Even the apocalypse can't kill the most important thing in people, craving for beauty. Moreover, complex events have always been the accelerator for creativity, the opportunity to look at the world from a different angle, to rethink it. There's a flamboyant artist in the wastes who creates his art out of scraps. His creations are eagerly bought for private collections. They say even Scar AB has a couple of those. Here's the most recent creation, an expressive, full of novelty perspective at how your teammates really look. Exquisite, ain't it? 5 candles out of 5. Steel RF. Someone makes art, others build rides, and yet others create combat robots. This is not a ride or a Leviathan, but rather a special, rare category. These ones fight in our show Robo Fight, while at the exhibition, they're marked by a special RF abbreviation. A monumental metallic handsome on caterpillars draws attention immediately. The devilry part, instead of the face, fits real good. It humanizes the look. There are 2 sledgehammers on the shoulders, caterpillars instead of legs, and in between there are saws, as strange as it may sound. It won't prove itself in terms of common battles, but looks monumental, startling, and a little bit in a Soviet way. Good luck in the wastes, comrade. 5 red stars out of 5. Trinoga, the most ingenious craft of this selection, and you know we appreciate these. BRAWL cabin, Colossus engine, ammo, scope, executioner. All of this on 3 mechanical legs. Simple, effective, elegant. With all of its quirkiness, the concept actually works. You just have to gain insight on the drive-in, which is hard because of asymmetrical position of the legs. It's easy to walk straight, but the gun is directed sideways by default. When shooting, you'll have to spin, and then there's a chance of going in the wrong direction. No one's gonna like this while in combat, but you don't really have to come close. The build is real good at dealing damage over a distance, especially with the scope. Funny looking at first, the craft is actually smart. Respect to the designer. 4 usual stars out of 5. Any plans on introducing my fight mode this year? Don't expect it anytime soon, but it's definitely in the plans for 2018. Can I craft a ride for the robo-fight in the Leviathan slot? 80 details aren't enough. I have to sacrifice the looks to fit in the limit. No, only rides crafted in a ride slot are allowed to take part. How will the transition to DirectX 11 improve the game graphics? What changes are we in for? Players are to expect a more detailed image setting, an addition of new as well as improved current effects, and advanced details. A direct support of a single client will allow the improving optimization multifold, and along with it to increase performance on those systems corresponding to minimum requirements. Getting rid of annoying limit to the number of stickers is not the main goal of the transition, but rather one of the improvements. You shouldn't expect any mind-boggling changes after July 1st. The work will be gradual. Will there be a new faction of medics? Medicine is my profession. I really want to know what to expect. In the world of Crossout, there's a character who has his own peculiar idea of medicine. This is Mortus, a former doctor who's lost his mind and become the harbinger of death. There are no plans for the whole faction so far, however. Well, that's it for today, survivors. Keep fighting and training and designing and trading. We'll see you in a week right here in the garage. Tell your friends about the show if you like it, and leave your comments. We're always ready to hear you out. So long.